I don't know if anybody saw a wonderful documentary the other night about George Mallory. Anybody know the story? George Mallory was an Everest climber who may or may not have reached the summit of Everest in 1924. He died either on the ascent or the descent. Nobody knows. Some claim that he carried a picture of his wife, which he promised that he would lay on the summit. And when they found his body 30, 40, 50 years later, the photograph was missing. So I was inspired to write this little epic. It's called Somewhere in Kathmandu. Somewhere in Kathmandu sits an antique shop. Not much to see, old curios of a bygone age. If you saw it, you probably wouldn't even stop, much less imagine that here sat a page from history you would scarce believe. On a shelf sat a Kodak camera from a time long past. I imagine that few could ever conceive of the import of what it contained. At last, an answer to the enduring mystery of our time, belonging to a face from an ancient gallery, darkened by stubble and mountain grime, the face of George Herbert Lee Mallory. Mallory climbed Everest in 1924, the story goes. No proof exists that Irvine and he succeeded, and in all reality no one knows. We but guess or surmise that they exceeded all expectations and actually reached the top. But one piece of evidence could prove they did, which takes us back to Kathmandu and that antique shop. How much for the camera? $50? I'll take it. It was brought in by a Sherpa who'd found it on the mountain years ago but couldn't make it open. The film inside might still be sound. So I sneaked it back to England in my darkroom and managed to remove the film miraculously intact. And there, among the chemicals and dark gloom, I tried to separate historic fiction from historic fact. For one brief moment, an image of a man appeared in the developer standing on a mountain top. Then it faded and slowly disappeared, and my hopes too came to a sudden stop. Too old, the film, to retain the image long enough to be even sure that it was Mallory I saw. And so to this very day the stuff of legend and conjecture carries on, for if it was Mallory at Everest's peak, the proof has simply faded away. And there is no way anyone can speak with certainty of what happened on that far-off day. Did he do it? Put behind his earthbound sorrows in exchange for one utterly glorious day? Did he sacrifice all of his tomorrows when he knew there was no other way? And did he place the photo of his Ruth upon the summit as he swore he would? I truly hope he did, and that's the only truth. I feel sure he was the only man who could. But perhaps, as he lay dying on the slope, he took out her photo for a final time, and as the storm extinguished his last hope, she was blown to where George could not climb. Thanks.